6 steps to resolving conflict. How many people have been in some conflicts lately?
Singularly or with someone?
Whichever, man. Whatever. Whichever.
I'm always having back and forth with myself.
All right, here we go. 6 steps to resolving conflicts. These are 6 steps to resolving conflicts. And a conflict is a disagreement or argument of opposing views, opinions, and beliefs. The first thing you want to do when it's talking about resolving a conflict is you have to begin the process. Because you know what most people do? They have an issue with somebody and they go tell everybody but that person. Y'all done seen it happen around here. They'll be sitting there talking about the person and what they don't like the person. As soon as the person walk in the cafeteria, they stop. Well, guess what? You telling the wrong person. Because just on the man tip, if you ain't told that man, you shouldn't tell nobody. If you haven't told that man how you feel, you shouldn't tell anybody. Because people can get your conversation and what you said misconstrued. Your best friend could. Your brother could. Your mama could. It's better coming from you because somebody else can misconstrue your words. All they got to do is highlight this or highlight that in the conversation. To begin the process, we must identify the causes of the conflict and keep the focus on the problem. You got to keep the focus on the problem. Both parties should agree to a neutral venue and time suitable to all. So if you're going to resolve a conflict with somebody, don't go to their house. You need a neutral territory. Don't even have them at your house. Meet them at Starbucks. Say, look, let me buy you a coffee. Oh, they don't drink coffee? Let me buy you a tea. Oh, you don't drink tea? Let's go grab a water and talk. Not their territory, not your territory. You don't want to be approaching somebody talking about we need to resolve a conflict when they hanging out with their family and their friends. That ain't the right time. And you don't want to do it when you hanging with your family and your friends. That's not the right time. Because you don't know if they want to perform. There's a lot of people, man, when they're around people, when you one-on-one, they're a whole different person. But then when you get around people, some people like to shine on you and perform. So you might approach them while they with their family, man. Their family might be like, hold on, who is this, cuz? What? You see what I'm saying? So you need a venue that's suitable to you and that person without no audience and no cheering section. I'm talking about how to resolve a conflict. Now, if you don't want to resolve a conflict, do the opposite of everything that I'm saying. Both parties should agree to a neutral venue and time that is suitable to all. A time that is suitable to all. You don't tell somebody, hey, be at Starbucks Saturday at 12 o'clock, period. No, they might have something to do. It has to be a time that's suitable to both. Don't give somebody an ultimatum. Both parties should be honest and calm. You got to go into that situation calm. Not go into that situation hyped up. We're talking about resolving conflict, y'all. Establish eye contact when you're trying to resolve a conflict. Because if I'm talking to you and you're not looking at me, I got to wonder if you're really listening to me. And some of us came up in cultures where, I know my culture, you weren't supposed to be looking no grown person in the face. And if you did that, that's reckless eyeballing. If they was straightening you out. You supposed to be, you show some humbleness while they straightening you out. You look down. But that's not good when you're trying to be a grown man and you're dealing with another grown man. You don't want to go to a job and your supervisor is correcting you about something, but your mama told you to look down, so while he's talking to you, you doing this. No, bro, lift your head up. You a grown man. Eye contact. That lets a person know, I'm listening to you. Body language is important when you first trying to resolve a conflict. If I'm talking to you and I'm trying to resolve a conflict with you, don't be posted up like, you see what I'm saying? Or while the person talking, you might not be opening up your mouth, but they could be talking and you could be like, man, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead. All right. You're not listening. You're moving around. You're doing this. That's not how you resolve a conflict. You wouldn't expect a child to do that. Say if you pull 2 little kids together to resolve a conflict and the one kid was just flipping out and acting like that, wouldn't you have to deal with him first? Both parties should be honest and calm. Establish eye contact. If anyone becomes too angry while you're trying to resolve the conflict, take a break. Because you can't resolve a conflict and you got an attitude. Take a break. Cool down. Calm down, man, before you pick it back up. And nothing wrong with saying, hey, let's just take a break for a minute. 6 steps to resolving conflict. Number 2, set ground rules because everybody wasn't raised the same. Get the ground rules out the way when you're trying to resolve a conflict before y'all even start talking. The conflict resolution climate. That's why you need ground rules, so you can set a climate to resolve conflicts. Listen politely, no name calling or insulting. Don't use gutter language when you're trying to resolve a conflict. Calling somebody out their name. Or just cussing, period. You're trying to resolve a conflict. Listen politely, no name calling or insulting, and no interrupting while the other person is talking. I don't care if it's a major point, bro. Let them express themselves. Because you want to let them know that you are listening. Never interrupt somebody when you're trying to resolve a conflict. Let them say, well, even if they dragging it out, let them drag it out. Because once they get done, you get to respond. As soon as they cut you off, I listen to everything you said. I did interrupt you one time. Now, if you wasn't done, I'm going to let you go ahead again. And I'm going to listen. Go ahead. 6 steps to resolving conflict. Number 3, facts only, no opinions. You trying to resolve a conflict? Bring up the facts. Don't nobody want to hear your opinion. The next step is to make sure the other person has all the facts and to make sure he or she clearly understands your point of view. Because they might have heard something that's totally out of line, and that might be the reason the conflict started anyway. Because you know what, man? We got some people, they good at playing both sides. They cool with you and they cool with the person you don't like.
I don't know that.
They cool with you and they cool with the people that want to take your head. Some of the reasons why the people who don't like you, because they heard what you said through that other person. Next step is to make sure the other person has all the facts and to make sure he or she clearly understands your point of view. While it is important to share your concerns, only facts, feelings, and the present need to be discussed. Don't bring up the past. If y'all didn't resolve that then, let it go. Just bring up right now. Because if you hit them with the refrigerator of issues, deal with right now. Never go into the past when trying to resolve a conflict. Okay, I need to talk to my mom because she don't talk to me like I'm a grown man and she down talk me, but I'm trying to resolve that issue. But when I was 12, you used to beat me when I was 12. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. See, you see how you distracted from the main issue? Stay on the present. The past does not need to be brought up or dug up. Keep your emotions out of it. Because some people, they don't have no argument, but they try to win the argument or win the conflict because they can cry longer. Now you're feeling bad, like, okay, now you're trying to comfort this person, even if it's all about conflict resolution. Keep your emotions out of it. Don't be angry, because some people think they can win the argument if they yell the loudest. Keep your emotions out. Both parties should speak for themselves using I statements and not dragging others into the conflict. So when you're talking to somebody about a conflict, talk about your side of the road. And I'm about to sit around and talk to Tim about a conflict I got with Tim. And I'm like, yeah, and Steve and John was saying that they don't like that either. You trying to add weight to the argument? Keep other people out the business, bro. And if Steve and John need to say something to Tim, they need to go and say something to Tim. I don't need to be the person to say it. If I got an issue with Tim, I'm going to tell Tim what I feel and how I feel and why I feel that way. I'm not going to bring up other people. You know, half of the building don't like you either. Use I statements. Grown men, they use I statements. 6 steps to resolving conflicts. Number 4, agree to problem or problems. But you can't fix a problem if y'all can't agree on it. It's a meeting of the minds. You can't fix a problem if y'all can't agree on what the problem is. That's why we did all these steps before this to get to this point. Because eventually we want to agree on a problem. But we got to set a climate before we can do that. You might be focused on one thing, but they focus on something else. Participants must agree that there is a problem, then agree to solve the problem or problems together. Neither party should come into the meeting with a solution already in mind. Because if you come into a conflict resolution setting already with this is what you need to do to fix this, that means you did that on your own. Conflict resolution is a 2-party thing. Solutions don't come up until after we do all that other stuff. Don't go into it with some solutions. You go in there wanting to resolve the conflict, and together y'all come up with solutions. Not your solutions. Both parties need to clearly need to clarify the issues by explaining what they feel is the cause and find out if they agree. If not, participants should find out what the other person thinks the problem is. Participants should agree to resolve each problem one at a time. Listen to them, what they think the problem is. You listen to them. And then they listen to you or what you think the problem is, and then y'all can start working towards solutions to those problems. Because life is really win-win, bro. If you ain't living life win-win, you probably failing. Especially in my culture, in black culture, we don't grow up learning win-win. It only can be one in my culture.
Win or.
In my culture, as a black person, as a black man, you can only win. There's no such thing as win-win. Y'all think we got verses as black people. Y'all heard about the verses? Where we got two entertainers who are peers, and they have a versus, a concert, and they sing their best hits, so we can find out which one is the one. But they got Kenny Rogers. They got Johnny Cash. Oh, come on! Country music got a whole lot of number ones. It ain't no one. Rock and roll has a lot of number ones. It's just a matter of which one you like.
Rap, you gotta be D1.
It ain't just rap. It's R&B. It's clothing. It's everything. I have to be number one. In order for me to be number one, you have to lose. That's called win-lose philosophy. That's the philosophy. You get nothing out of life with that. Our culture, my culture, is a win-lose culture, which means if I win, somebody has to lose. Everything you think about that they have. Business leaders, a lot of number ones. Political leaders, a lot of number ones. Whereas in other cultures, they be the first in that. Oh, they grooming other kids that look like them to take over. Oh man, y'all missing this. Lord have mercy. Woo, 6 steps to resolving conflict. Number 5, solutions. Solutions. At this step, participants should agree to a solution. Both parties should brainstorm solutions together. Feel free to share and keep in mind the agreed ground rules. Solutions should be fair, they should be realistic, and they should be preventative. Number 6, steps to resolving conflict. And the final one is you got to have closure. Because without closure, it's just a wound with a scab on it. You can peel that off anytime you want to. There's people who ain't liked people since middle school. They in their 50s and still don't speak to that person. They don't even remember why they don't like that person. They just got this feeling about that person that they don't like them. That's the reason, because y'all never resolved whatever it was y'all was going through. Some of y'all the same way. If you see somebody in middle school you didn't like and you seen them today, like, look at him. Because you ain't never resolved whatever it was y'all had going on. Y'all left that wide open. The most important part of conflict resolution is closure. Because closure says we're going to wrap this thing up in a bond and forget about it. And there's 2 different ways you can do that. Closure. Once an agreement has been reached, closure needs to happen. Both parties should thank the other for their willingness to help resolve a conflict with them. But just in case you can't resolve the conflict, say if y'all did all of this stuff, y'all did everything. Began the process, you started the process, you wasn't gossiping with other people, you set the ground rules, you put the facts out there, you agreed to the problem. Well, evidently you couldn't agree to a problem. Well, maybe you did agree to some problem. Maybe they don't want to fix it or change it. Say the person don't want to come up with any solutions. The problem can't be resolved. The participants should bring in an unbiased mediator. And some of y'all do that here. When y'all got conflicts, you come talk to me like, hey, well, I got an issue with such and such. I need you to, okay, let me go. And I appreciate when y'all do that, because then I can go in there and I can fix it and solve it or talk about it and bring the 2 people together and work something out. If you can't bring in a unbiased mediator, then what you need to do is agree to disagree peacefully. Because some arguments, you're never going to win. Some people, you're never going to win them over. I mean, sometimes, man, a person will post an opinion on Facebook, just to give you an example, and then somebody will come out of nowhere and disagree with that opinion. And then you got paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of them going back and forth. What are you going back and forth for? Nothing that they say is going to change your mind, and nothing you say is going to change their mind. Just agree to disagree peacefully.